Hello heroes, Joe Smith here. And hello Troll Boy, if you're still watching. As you can see, Joe Smith's out in the sunlight. But then it's Sunday. You know, it's kind of something that Joe Smith's been wondering for a little while here. Actually, several years. You know, everyone keeps talking about all these poor people and black people and how most black people are poor. Do poor people or black people that are poor? Not all black people are poor. This isn't really about race. It's more just about poor people. But do poor people actually want to get out of poverty? People that are supposedly living in poverty, do they actually want to get out of poverty? Friday afternoon, went to the bank to deposit a couple grand, and met this really cool young black man there. His name was CJ. He was actually taller than Joe Smith here. Joe Smith here is about 6'4", and this dude, he was like 6'8", 6'9", something like that. And we just kind of started talking and joking, and he's a funny dude. He's a cool guy, man. Really nice guy. Asked him if he had played, and it's like, man, you're as tall as an NBA player. It's like, are you like in the NBA or that? And he's like, no, man, it wasn't for me. But he's like, I get asked that a lot. A lot of people ask if I was a basketball player in the NBA, and he's like, you know what I asked them? If they're like a short white guy, I asked them if they play mini golf. And thought that was funny as hell. Just started laughing, and then we just started talking there and a bunch of stuff and joking around. Went outside to the car, and Joe Smith said, "Man, you need to come work with me here. Make a lot more money than what you are now at his current job." After finding out what his current job and pay was, he's supposed to have come yesterday at noon to me and talk a little bit more. Told him had all this money to pay him, could have him making 100 grand by next year, and if we had get him to where he could be a manager, have a few people under him, following year, possibly $250,000 a year. Noon came yesterday. CJ never showed up. All this cash here, 10 grand here, waiting to pay him. Plenty of work to do between fixing bikes and mowers, and he could help look up and price baseball cards. He could have helped paint the shop and do some stuff there. Help finish setting up the TVs, and want to put solar panels on it and get gutters on it. Got some rain barrels a couple months ago, and want to put gutters on it to kind of collect rainwater off of it to kind of use in the shop as a kind of backup water source in case of emergency. Even though we got a well here by it. But the well's powered by electricity, so if the electricity goes off, it just ought to be like something cool to do too. With all that extra money that nobody else wants. So, it's kind of been the thing. See these people begging like they're desperate for a job or need help with money, paying the bills and stuff, posting on Facebook, and offer them a job with a living wage, and they never show up. For years, had hundreds of people. Never showed up for an interview, never showed up. If they did show up for the interview, they didn't show up for the first day. If they did show up for the first day, they didn't show up for the second day. They didn't show up to get paid. They didn't show up on payday. So I think that maybe these people just don't need money. Maybe they're just perfectly happy living in poverty. Maybe they just like to bitch and whine and be a whiny little fucking bitch. Maybe they just don't want to be rich. Maybe they just want everyone else to be poor. You're whining about all this money that Jeff Bezos makes, but with his $83,000 a year salary, but then when they're offered over $100,000, to where they'd actually be getting a higher salary than Jeff Bezos, they don't show up. This young black man could be making more than Jeff Bezos does. Didn't show up. CJ didn't show up, so he can make more than Jeff Bezos. Guess maybe he's making enough. Maybe he's comfortable. Maybe he's too comfortable. Maybe a job is too easy. Or maybe he's just full of it, and his ass can't cash the checks his mouth writes. A lot of people like to lie about their abilities. They say they can run a bike shop or motor shop, but then say they need an hourly wage. Well, can you run the shop, or do you need to be an hourly wage employee? It's one or the other. If you can run the shop, why wouldn't you want a percent of revenue or profits or whatever? Why wouldn't you want to work on like piece rate or commission if you're such a good mechanic? Most mechanics work piece rate or flag hours or flat rate. Different people call it different things. Most auto mechanics, they have a book or guide or something. It's like replacing an alternator in this car is like a 3-hour job. So if they get done in 2 hours, well, they get paid for 3 hours. Anyone that knows what the hell they're doing, why wouldn't they want to work like that so they can beat the clock and bill for more hours and get paid for more hours than what they actually work? Only someone that's full of shit and can't cash the checks that their mouth writes and don't actually know how to do the shit would want to get paid an hourly wage, regardless of how much work they actually got done. And the only few good hourly wage employees over the past that were actually worth their hourly wage quit to go work commission or piece rate or flag rate or start their own business somewhere else. The rest weren't even worth their hourly pay. They couldn't even produce more than what they were being paid. Even when they were only being paid $5 or $6 an hour years ago. Still couldn't produce more. One guy spent 2 days needlessly disassembling this entire riding mower for some freaking reason. Trying to figure out what was wrong. It's a safety switch, and 10-minute fix. We bill the customer 30 minutes. He got paid for 30 minutes. The 2 days he spent fucking with it. Needless to say, he fired himself after that. And decided he's better off flipping burgers and handing french fries through a window. That he might be smart enough to figure out how to do that. But he decided he just wasn't smart enough to make 80 grand a year fixing lawnmowers. You know, these people keep bitching and whining, oh, we need to raise the minimum wage. Well, why don't you get fucking education? Why don't you learn how to do something? Why don't you learn how to do shit? You know, you can make real fucking money if you have more than 5 fucking brain cells. If you need the federal government or the state to raise the minimum wage to get raised, and maybe you should reevaluate yourself and your life choices. Maybe it's time you go and re-enroll in kindergarten and do K through 12 again, and pay attention and do your homework this time, instead of smoking and drinking and getting high or whatever they did last time. If you're smart enough to change oil on a lawnmower and sharpen blades and put them on correctly, or adjust the shifters on bicycles with a screwdriver, if you're smart enough to know how to use a screwdriver, you can make $50 an hour. You can make $2 grand or more a week. You can make $2,500 a week. You make 10 grand a month. 10 grand here, you can make a month. All you gotta do is show the fuck up. It's that fucking easy. CJ could have a brand new F-150 or a brand new Ranger or one of the new all-electric F-150s. Had Joe Biden got to test drive, supposedly, if that wasn't faked, instead of the 20-year-old beat-up, clear coat peeling F-150 he was driving. For his low skill, low pay job. You know, told him if he didn't know how to do something or didn't know how to do this stuff, it would teach him. But pay him the same and teach him. Joe Smith here loves teaching people. That's why Joe Smith does these how-to videos and tips and whatnot every now and then, or used to. Need to start doing more of those, but it's like they don't even want to learn. They don't want to learn. They don't want higher pay. They don't want to get out of poverty. They don't want a nicer house. They don't want nicer cars and trucks. They don't want to walk around with 10 grand in their pocket. They don't want to be able to buy nice things. I mean, why should they have to work to buy nice things? I mean, CJ's black. He probably gets all his vitamins and medicines from Walgreens for free like all the other black people, especially those in San Francisco. You don't need to make $50 an hour. He probably gets his shoes for free at Foot Locker at their after hours sale. It's a shame. After you turn out all these customers can barely keep up, after you tell people we're just too busy. Lots of people calling, wanting to bring their mower here to the shop, but have no way of transporting it. Wanting Joe Smith come pick it up and fix it and deliver. Charging $5 a mile from the shop back to the shop, both ways, and then still have to. And people are paying it. People are paying it. Paying $100. I've had people pay $100 between both trips to go and get it and bring it back here, and then after fixing it and take it back to them. $100 total between the two trips. And we're further away. They just can't keep up. Having to tell the people that are even willing to pay $5 a mile. They just can't keep up. I spend all my time just running around town picking stuff up and dropping it off, and no time fixing it. Could have someone working just going around picking stuff up. Willing to pay them $4 a mile. Joe Smith here just take $1 a mile for use of his trailer. If they had their own truck. Or if they didn't, they could drive one in Joe Smith's truck and still get a couple bucks a mile. Can almost probably charge $6 a mile. And then pay them $5 a mile. Charging $100 an hour to work on bikes and lawnmowers, and $150 an hour to do internal engine work. With only a couple other shops in the county. A county with about 250,000 people. Part of a 2-county metro area of 500,000 people. And just can't find poor people living in poverty that want to get out of poverty and stop being poor. To guarantee $50 an hour to. Because nobody needs a guarantee. Nobody needs 10 grand cash a month. Offering pay cash daily. Got this here to pay cash daily. Hand them a $100 bill every 2 hours if that's what it takes. Joe Smith here is in a hurry to pay people. Just can't find anyone in a hurry to get paid. Past several years. Joe Smith bought that BMW with cash that was meant to get paid to someone else for the work that they did, but then they quit or didn't show up, and Joe Smith had to do all their jobs that were scheduled for them. So the money Joe Smith was going to pay them, he went and bought that BMW with their paycheck money they never came to collect. But hey, that's fine. If They don't need it. Joe Smith's thinking about getting a jet ski and a boat here. Could probably go buy a jet ski for less than 10 grand. Could probably buy a jet ski and a boat for 10 grand. And just think of all that fun Joe Smith could have out on the lake on Sundays on a jet ski. Whee! Whee! Those people are staying home being miserable because they're poor. Because they just don't want to stop being miserable or stop being poor. Kind of sad, actually. You know, I mean, they say that most of the millionaires in America are actually first generation millionaires. They weren't born with money. They actually grew up poor and started a business or done something and made an investment to get rich. 1 in 6 of them are immigrants from foreign countries, like Elon Musk, who is African American. Money's out there. People are asking Joe Smith to paint their Jeeps and stuff, and having to tell him just too busy. No, could be doing enough work to have 30 people working here. As much demand as there is. Most people around here just got in the habit once their mower breaks, even though it might be a cheap fix, even though it might just be a dirty air filter that won't start, and they don't know better that, clean the air filter or put a new one in, and maybe it will start then. I mean, they're bringing mowers and power washers here. Only reason why they won't start a dirty air filter. There's other people that are just throwing them away and going to buy a new one because of dirty air filter or carburetor needs cleaned. You're going buying a new $300 or $400 push mower because they left gas in their old one for over the winter time, and it's been charging $100 to clean or replace the carburetor. But they're throwing it away and going buy a new one because the other shops that they're calling are telling them to be a 2-month wait. They have to pay someone $50 a week to mow their yard for the 2 months that mowers getting fixed. So it's like, well, it'd be cheaper to just go buy a new one instead of wait. Probably have a lot more business that had some help here, but it's almost like 99% of the population is allergic to money. It's almost like people hate money or are allergic to money. It's like only 1% of Americans actually love money, love the smell of money. Does anyone make a money cologne that smells like money? Maybe Joe Smith needs to do that. Make a cologne that smells like money too. It's like, Tommy boy, I don't think you got the money to pay me. It's like, well, you're going to be running the shop. You're going to get half the revenue. If Joe Smith don't have money to pay you, that's because you don't got money to pay Joe Smith to rent shop space. Or you can't get customers or get stuff fixed. You start rubbing that on my face before going out on a date. Well, if anyone's interested in making real money, Joe Smith here is hiring. Joe Smith signing out.